So what's the very next thing people want to know? Well, how can I publish my book? Well, there are 5 different ways to publish. Okay. Traditionally, there are 2 ways to publish. You can publish with or without an agent. So the first one is with an agent in a traditional way. Think of the things that you know. Random House, Simon and Schuster, Wiley, Penguin, things like that, that you know. Those are traditional publishers. HarperCollins, Collins, Source Books. These are larger publishing houses that have been around for years and years and years. They require agents. Okay. You can still publish traditionally without an agent. And most people don't think about that. But there are small, medium, and large publishers who want books. And so they publish anywhere from 10 to 12 books a year, upwards of 50 or more books a year, depending on what they're able to work with the employees they have and the stable of staff. Okay. Number 3 is self-publishing, because self-publishing is very popular. The difference between self-publishing and traditional publishing is it's a lot faster. You don't have to go the 6 months or so or more or less that it will take to get an agent before you get into a publisher's doorstep. And then that will take you about 18 months. So basically, we usually say if you're going to go traditional with an agent, you should expect 18 to 24 months. If you're going to go with a traditional publisher, it could be 3 to 6 months before you start the process. And then depending on how long, when your book is going to actually be published, that's when you'll know how long it's actually going to take, because they should give you a publishing date. Okay, I hope I'm going at the right pace here because I don't want to go too fast. So self-publishing is one of those things where you could write your book and publish tomorrow. And the reason why self-publishing it works that way, and I'm going to go through this in my slides in a little more detail, is that there are certain things you need to do in order to self-publish, which I'm going to get into very detailed for you tonight. But self-publishing, just in this initial exercise that we're going through, is really something that is much more straightforward. However, you are going to bear all the costs. And as I mentioned, whether you traditionally publish or you self-publish, any way you publish, you're going to market. So I want to reiterate that big piece of the pie, right? Electronic publishing, a lot of people electronically publish and never do anything else. And we'll talk a little bit more about that and why. And audiobook publishing is the other one. Okay, audiobook publishing. So the last part of this handout is really about how are you going to make money with your book. And so I really want to touch on that before we go deeper into thinking about publishing and what is the publishing field all about and things like that. Because I'm going to leave you plenty of time to ask me questions. Okay. So if you want to make money with your book or project, you actually want to create online sales. And so online sales are really important for your book. This could be something where you set it up where you make it part of a package. You can also use it as a lead generator, things like that. But online sales are really important, and it all depends on what you put in your book in order to keep them. Because you may get them to open their wallet and spend $15 or $17 for a book, or less if it's an ebook, or potentially an audiobook. However, those online sales, they can generate money for you. Now, e-commerce websites. E-commerce websites give you product websites that we use nowadays, right? Those can really help you as well. Sales carts, things like that. where you actually have more products. And that's the next one, which is programs, right? If you actually create programs that are based on your book, you might have webinars, you might have workshops, you might have programs that you develop that come out of the content of your book if it's nonfiction. Okay. When you start thinking about sales, you basically want to find out is other people's, how can they build your book into their sales, right? So other people's sales is one of those things where you have people who make bundles or other authors who are basically putting together a package. That's another way for you to actually put this all together and wrap it up in a nice tight bow that helps you actually help people understand they don't have to get the book necessarily from you. They could get it through another author they know. Now, this is one of those things where when we start talking about joint venture, okay, I don't know if anybody's come in and talked to you about joint venturing, but joint venturing is with like-minded programs and individuals. So for example, joint venturing means, hey, I'll sell your book in my particular program, and I'll give you an affiliate payment. So basically, you give it to me, I'll give you 35% of the sales, or 50%, or 75% of the sales, whatever it might be. You make an arrangement. Because if you take that one and you think back about these programs and you create affiliate programs instead, okay, these two sort of do this, okay? What's an affiliate program? An affiliate program means, here, I'm going to give you a link and you can sell my programs, my books, my whatever, my workshop, webinar, whatever. But if they register, give them this link. And then that will automatically pay you for the people who have registered. So it becomes a sales funnel. Down here, joint venture programs or individuals are people who say, okay, I'm going to sell it, but when it sells, I'm going to give you 75% of what it is, but I'm going to take 25%. Is that clear? Okay, great. This is have a book launch. Have a book launch. What is that all about? Having a book launch actually drives sales. If you do that, then you'll bring people to your book. They may actually bring other people too. And so, especially if you have an online book launch, right? You want to be able to actually bring people who you don't know into your world. Because the statistics for self-publishing are most people who self-publish only sell 75 to 100 copies to family, friends, and colleagues. And then they run out of people. And so you want to be able, through these different pieces, right? Online sales, your own websites, affiliate programs, right? All of these things, you want to be able to draw other people in. Okay? What is this all about? You want to be able to sell this on Amazon. You want to be able to sell it in a library setting to librarians. You want to be able to sell it on everything. This does not mean that you're going to print 2,000 copies and keep it in your garage and your basement. Please don't do that. And if anybody tries to sell you that, don't. It's not a good spend and it's not a good way to do it. These days we have print on demand through Amazon and other outlets. So you want to make sure that you're actually taking advantage of how can you reach other people? How can you get to them? As Robert Allen says, everything you want is just outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to talk to people about your project. So we're going to pick it up and we're going to talk about that.